Welcome, everybody. We are so excited to have you back. If you've been joining us with this series for DD Awareness Month, we are on our third webinar in celebration. Today, we are featuring Zappos Adaptive Shoes and Clothing. As usual, my name is Kelly Jacoby. I am the Community Relations Specialist here with Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities. A little bit of housekeeping, as you guys are familiar, we are recording today's session, so you will be able to reference that back at a later date should you be interested. We do have time for questions. Please utilize our Q&A box at the bottom of your control panel in Zoom webinar to ask those questions. And if you are our friends joining us from Facebook Live, please utilize the comment section. We'll be monitoring those throughout the webinar today. So we are excited. We have Dana Zumbo. Dana is the Business Development Manager at Zappos Adaptive. Zappos Adaptive is a curated shopping experience through Zappos.com. In her role, Dana is dedicated to ensuring the online retailer's mission of providing functional and fashionable products to make life easier for everyone. I will go ahead and pass it over to you, Dana, and feel free to share your screen, and we'll be monitoring that in those questions as those come through.
First of all, I'd love to thank you, Kelly, for having me today. It's just a privilege to be able to share and meet everybody and answer questions and just share the story of Zappos and where Zappos Adaptive came from. So I'm going to do a short presentation. I would love to hear any questions afterwards so we can kind of answer anything that people are interested in learning more about. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
How are we good with the screen, Kelly?
Yep, we can see your presentation. Looks good.
Awesome. So first of all, as Kelly mentioned, my name is Dana Zumbo. I will be celebrating 15 years at Zappos this year, and really focusing on disability inclusion for the past 9 years. And I'll kind of get into details on what that means. I'd love to give a little bit of background about who Zappos is. We are celebrating 25 years this year. And really, as part of Zappos' DNA and the foundation of what Zappos is, has always been about customer service. How do we serve our customers? How do we engage our customers and just share the best experience with them? Zappos is an online retailer. We sell footwear, clothing, accessories, handbags, really focusing on footwear from the very beginning. And one of the things that even in our building, we're located in Las Vegas, Nevada, and in our building, we have always referred to Zappos as a customer service, as a service company that just happens to sell, and we put blank. And the reason we keep that kind of open is because, it always goes back to just the service piece. And that really kind of crosses a lot of different genres. So again, Zappos is a service company, just happens to sell shoes, clothing, accessories, bags, but really it is all about listening to our customers, understanding what their pain points might be, and just trying to provide solutions to anything that our customers bring up. And so the story behind Zappos Adaptive is it comes directly from our customers, which couldn't be, I couldn't write the story better. Back in 2014, so we are celebrating 10 years kind of on this journey of disability inclusion within Zappos. We had a customer call in to our call center, and her name was Tanya. And one of our agents, Saul, answered the call, and she was returning a pair of shoes that she bought for her grandson, Gabriel. And Saul was just asking typical questions any of our agents would ask. And she was very frustrated. And so he kind of took a step back and got to know Tanya a little bit more. And again, we really engage with our customers a little bit different than you may have seen in the past. And so he was just asking curious questions. And she had shared that her grandson, Gabriel, has autism, and he did not have the dexterity to tie his own shoelaces. And she was looking for a pair of shoes that he could wear in participating in sports. Back in 2014, we had not as many alternative closures as we do today. But Saul said, no problem. Let me see what I can find on our site. And he went and shopped our site as we do for any of our customers. And sadly, he could not find a solution for Gabriel. And Gabriel was going from a kid size to an adult size. And again, there were a lot less options for adults back then. And really, this was the idea that sparked, that this was the idea that just sparked like, how do we Zappos serve all customers, like Tanya, like her grandson Gabriel? And this story stuck with Saul, and he kind of reached out to everybody in the company. It was like, hey, I feel like this is something like we talk about how we serve our customers, but here is a huge population that maybe we have not focused on. And so internally, we kind of just reached out and put a team of people together. And the first thing we had to do is really do some research and find out like what does disability mean within the United States? Because we Zappos only ships within the US. And some of the statistics that we found was nearly 1 in 5 people in the United States have some sort of disability. Now, this is from the CDC and probably has changed over the last year or so. I believe it's a little bit higher. But looking at the total amount, 56 to 60 million people within the United States are diagnosed with some sort of disability. This is a large population that we may not be serving from a customer service mindset. The other thing I want to share is the annual disposable income. And the reason I share this slide is there's this perception sometimes that that people with disabilities may not have the funds to support different products, and price matters. Price matters to everybody, but the reason we share this is when we're talking with our brand partners, we want to show them that a lot of times I hear this is a niche business. Well, 61 million people is not niche. It is kind of goes across, all genres, and again, across the United States. And so back in 2015, we kind of started doing our research. Not only did we get our statistics from the CDC, but it was also very important for us as Zappos to talk with our customers. And so we did a lot of focus groups, surveys, just to find out, hey, is this something that is this something you're looking for? How do you find your products? What types of stores do you shop for products that might fit your specific needs? And as you can imagine, we got so much great feedback, which really gave us the indication that there was something as a retailer, and I always talk about this, it's our responsibility to be able to provide options for everybody to wear what they want and really express themselves through fashion. So this kind of took us to 2017. We launched the Zappos Adaptive Shopping Experience. And basically, we started with a few brands that already had products that were functional and designed with disability in mind. One of them was Nike. They had this collection called the Nike Fly Ease, which still exists today. And we highly recommend, depending on what the needs are, it's a great product. And we launched with Nike on our site. We also launched with another footwear company called Billy Footwear. He was launching just at the same time and really created his product with disability in mind. And I'll show you in a little bit some of the product. But from here, once we launched, we had some work to do because, again, we looked at other companies and vendors to see what products were available out in the market and in the industry. And back in 2017, there were not a lot of companies creating products with disability in mind. And so the way I want to talk a little bit about when we launched our platform shopping experience in 2017, the way that we started to tag products, and this slide is a good representation of the footwear. And I've shown a few different brands, and I want to talk through them a little bit. The product on the far left side is Billy Footwear, and I mentioned it earlier. And as you can see, we like to showcase the product and the function of the product. This is one of the things that from all of the feedback from our customers, they just couldn't find what they needed because the product there wasn't enough information about the product. So we're very intentional in terms of how we want to showcase our product. So as you can see on the left side, Billy Footwear is one of the most popular products if people are wearing any type of braces, AFOs, SMOs, because they carry products that are wide, extra wide, to be able to fit your foot in. The other really cool thing about this footwear is the design of the shoe opens completely around the top. So anybody could put their foot in unobstructed and zip up that zipper around the top of the sole of the shoe. That makes it really easy to get on and off, whether you're dressing yourself or whether you have somebody helping or assisting you in dressing. The next group is Keen Kids. And the reason I like to point this out, we just launched with this product, and it all stemmed from one of our focus groups. About a year and a half ago, we did a focus group with Keen, the company Keen Kids team, and we brought in and it was virtually. Now everything seems to be virtually. Brought in about 8 different families with kids with varying disabilities to try on product and give feedback. And we brought everybody together on a virtual meeting and just talked about what those features were. And I'm proud to say a year later, we launched this Keen sandal with simple feature. Instead of having to put your foot in it from the top of the sandal, there's a hook and loop in the back that opens up wide. You can slide your foot right in, tighten it to hold around AFOs or a prosthesis. And we just launched this in the beginning of February. So really excited to see this product come to fruition. And again, it came directly from feedback from our community. And then the other products, the way we tag on our site, is products that people have shared. Hey, this works for me. We look at a lot of our reviews to get feedback from customers saying, hey, I have this particular disability. These work because of X, Y, and Z. And we like to highlight that product again, because it may be something that people are not aware of. For example, you see on the right side, we have a pair of Sorel boots for women that have this really cool strap across the front that allows that boot to open up very wide. Some of the feedback we've heard is there's no way I could ever wear boots because of I cannot get my foot in based on the way that most boots are made. Very difficult. And this is a boot that was created with that in mind, easy in and easy off, with a big loop in the back that you can put your finger in to slide those boots on. And then there's another couple of examples here. Skechers has a slip-on, hands-free shoes for anybody that might have difficulty getting your foot in. We carry the full line. It is one of those products that's just like a wow. So again, what we do on our Zappos Adaptive platform is really showcase these products that people might not be aware that they exist, whether they were developed with disability in mind or they have this really cool inclusive design that works for different people. So now I'm taking you to today, how we create our shopping experience. And I had mentioned earlier that really features are what really drives the customer to be able to find what they need. And so we've kind of flipped the script, and instead of shopping by brand and different things, we have listened to our customer, and they want to shop by feature first, which basically helps them find what they can use easier. So if you look across the top here, we have easy on off shoes, we have AFO friendly, we carry a full selection of diabetic footwear, wides. People ask for wides, obviously, because sometimes whether it's swelling or whether they're wearing a device, it definitely helps with getting your shoes on and off. And then we like to feature, and this was our feature of Keen Kids that we just launched in February. And as we launch new products and so forth, we like to highlight them again, just to make it easier for our customers to find what they're looking for. And then the bottom portion, a portion of the site, we like to highlight different brands that do have products, whether they're universal design or developed with disability in mind. And here we're highlighting KEDS. We did a focus group with the KEDS team and women's, and they are based on the feedback. They're incorporating a lot of these features on their core product to be able to offer their product to more people. And then you see Billy Footwear in the middle, and then On, which is a performance brand that has really cool product that's comfortable, that's easy to get on and off, that are just slip-on shoes. And then across the bottom, we kind of just showcase some of the categories that are trending now. And again, all of this came from feedback from our customers on how they wanted to shop. And so we really took that into consideration as we started developing our online shopping experience. Now moving along, and just to give you an idea on our approach, everything that we think about, again, goes right back to our customer. How is our customer going to react? And so our approach has always been about inclusion, really just considering all needs when selecting options. Again, I talk about features a lot, and it's really just making sure that we are offering the most options for our customer base. And then function, back when we started, a lot of customers said, there's some product that is functional, but not very pretty. And so as important as function is, we've also really have taken into consideration the fashion piece, because customers have given us feedback. We just want to wear what everybody else wears. And so fashion was a very key component to everything that we have done and what we tag on our site. And then, of course, community. The community at large has been with us on our journey, from focus groups to modeling to fashion shows to photo shoots. And we really have built an amazing community of people that have really helped us on our journey from the very beginning. And now to talk about a little bit about the things that we have done within the community. And I just mentioned a few of them. We really have worked with different organizations who support disability inclusion, and making sure that we are including people with disabilities in everything that we do. Again, whether it's a fashion show, and Zappos collaborated with the Runway of Dreams team, which is a nonprofit that really supports disability inclusion in the fashion industry. We collaborated on a fashion show in 2019 within our hometown, Las Vegas, and we were able to really do an outside fashion show highlighting and just celebrating all of the product and models on the runway. And I think one of the most important parts of this is we had all of our brand partners were invited to the show, as well as community members and the Zappos employees. And this was really the fashion show that started the conversation that we started having with our brand partners around, what does inclusive mean? What does accessible design mean? Are our products accessible? And it really started the very honest conversation around disability inclusion. So I love to highlight that, because it really, I look at that as the catalyst for everything that we've done from that point on to where we are today. And then just a few more things that, as we are talking with all of you today, it is so important for all of us to continue spreading awareness around disability inclusion in whatever industry you are in. And so I love to show this slide, because it's the relationships that you build with other organizations. And again, I love to be a part of any forum or panel discussion around disability inclusion, because I know that if we reach one person, that one person is going to share with more. And really, it's just about how we are supporting the disability population at large and spreading awareness on what resources and what options are out there for everyone. And this is just my information. Please take it down. And if you're interested in connecting, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect with more people to learn more and support and share our resources and everything else that we are doing. Thank you so much for listening. And I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen now.
That's awesome. Thank you, Dana. Always
Sure.
great information that you have for us. And thank you so much for everything that you're doing. I encourage those that have questions, please send those into the Q&A box on our Zoom control panel, and then also in the chat on our Facebook Live if you guys are joining us there. I'll go ahead and jump in just a little bit. If you could just describe a little bit more information about how the shopping experience is. I know just from personal experience about shopping for shoes, if you need one size versus another for differing feet or one shoe in general, could you talk a little bit more about just that general shopping experience and maybe what the return policy looks like or the try-on process or just kind of that journey for a shopper?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you asked this question. And again, it kind of goes back to our customer service, and that's part of our foundation. And I'll go back to when Zappos started. Initially, people were like, "Wow, how are you going to possibly sell shoes online without trying them on?" So you bring up a good point, Kelly. And one of the things from our shopping experience is sometimes, when you're looking for something, and I mentioned this earlier, like people want to look for features first because then they can drill down to the cool brands that they like and so forth. So it's always a features first. And if you need an extra wide shoe, searching for that is just easier based on the way that we've kind of laid out our platform for the shopping experience. But the other thing is we encourage customers to buy more than one pair of shoes if they're not quite sure, because we do have a return policy that, if you buy two pairs of shoes and the beauty is you get to try them on in the privacy of your own home. You can walk around to make sure that they feel good, they fit right, and then ship back the pair that didn't work. And we have you can ship them back to Zappos for free. We do not charge for shipping them back to us. And we make the process so easy. You can print your own label online, package it up. UPS can come and pick it up at your house, or you can drop it off at a UPS store. No cost. It's just making it very easy. And then if you need to have that product for a while, you want to try it out, again, in the privacy of your own home, we do have a lengthy return policy. And the other thing that I want to call out is you can always call our customer service line. They're always there willing to talk to you and help you through even finding product. If you have something, you're like, I'm not sure about this, they'll help you shop because they're very, very familiar with the shopping experience, are able to dive in and help you find what you need faster.
Awesome. And I think too, looks like we had one come through here. It says, what features are required to make an item of clothing considered to be adaptive?
That's a great question, and it really runs the gamut. There's a lot of features and I'll speak to the footwear piece. Footwear has been really the part that we've been able to be very successful on. So imagine a typical shoe that you have to put your foot in, and you have to have a lot of mobility in your ankle. Like the Billy footwear shoes that I showed you, a zipper around the top and it flips open, allows for somebody to put their foot in unobstructed, and then there's a big zipper pull. So features would be large zipper pulls, a large heel pull to be able to slide your finger in to pull the shoe up as you're getting it on. Also widths, I can't stress enough how important we've heard from a lot of our customers about they need not just wides, they need extra wides. So any products that come with extended widths is extremely important for us to tag on the adaptive shopping experience. The other thing that people don't even think about is the removable insole. If somebody is wearing a prosthesis or some sort of device, sometimes they need more depth in the shoe. And I would say today, a lot of the insoles now are not glued in. They can be taken out because there is a lot of us who wear our own uh, custom insole. And so depending on what your needs are, that is also very, makes it very easy for you to utilize some of the shoes. And then from a clothing standpoint, there's clothing out there that has magnetic buttons. I think Tommy Hilfiger was really the first fashion brand back in 2016 that kind of like launched an adult and kids line that had full magnetic closures that just really made it easy for anybody that might have some limited dexterity. They could easily put your shirt on, and also hook and loop on the pants, no zippers, some magnetic closures. And then there's also this universal features that I love to talk about, because we do tag product that was not developed with disability in mind, but has features that people have said, hey, I wear this product because the material is super soft. I have some sensory challenges. It's easy to get over my head because of the wide neck. Um, uh, the banded, I can't tell you how, today there's a lot of denim, more so for women and kids that have just a band, elastic waistband, no zipper, no buttons, or faux zipper, faux buttons to look like a traditional pair of jeans and denim. Now there's so many options that people probably didn't think about before, but now we try to highlight those brands because it's just easier to get on and off. I'll share a story. We did a photo shoot back about a year ago in Miami with the Runway of Dreams team. And we had these brand new shorts from I want to say Free People. And they were super cute, cool, trendy. And the model that wore them was like, these are the best shorts I've ever worn. Very thick waistband, easy for her to put on, and very comfortable. And so it's just sometimes those universal designs that you find. And again, we like to tag them based on what our customers are sharing with us.
Awesome. I know. So Zappos has its own website, and then there's a Zappos Adaptive, correct?
That's correct. It's
So when you go,
zapposadaptive.com.
okay. And when you go to Zappos Adaptive, in order, again, from the shopper's kind of perspective,
Mhm.
are all of the items that you listed about clothing, whether it's the material or just an easy on off, not necessarily a adaptive specific item that's been added to the clothing, if those are listed in that category under Zappos Adaptive, is there just like, how do you know why something is considered adaptive? Is there descriptions or, what makes this piece of clothing or this shoe unique to be on the Zappos Adaptive platform?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And yes, so everything that we tag, we either hear from customers saying it worked for them, and they tell us like why it worked for them. So what we try to do is on our site, we sometimes have videos showing what the feature is of the product, especially on the footwear side. It's a lot, sometimes footwear is a lot harder to see what those features are. So we'll either showcase a video of what those features are, but also we'll showcase the different photos of the product, showing how it opens. And then we always have the description. We find that a lot of people don't want to read descriptions. That's why we do rely on videos a lot. And then, of course, we also rely on the customer reviews. And I can't tell you, that's the first thing I look at when I'm buying anything. And we've really learned from our customers' feedback that, again, that this product works for me because of, it has a wider neck, or if it's a footwear that it just happens to be a naturally wide, not necessarily considered wide or even shown on our site. I'll give you a good example, Crocs. The Crocs product just happens to be a wider type of product. They don't even carry wides, but I can't tell you how many people have, given us feedback that this works. I'm wearing a brace. Nothing has worked, but Crocs, and again, it's just the regular Crocs line, but because they make it wide, it just happens to work for people. And so we feel like it's very important to share that as well, because if you're looking at it and you see that they don't come in wides, you might not know that. And so we try to, try to convey that on video as well as the written descriptions.
Awesome. I'm just jumping over to check our Facebook to see if our friends have any questions on Facebook. Again, utilize that Q&A box here in the Zoom control panel. While we're waiting on those questions to come through, could you talk a little bit about what maybe the team looks like that decides what new products come in, how to manage that website, if there's engineers, designers. I know you guys are kind of the hub for other fashion designers to have their work shown and have those accessible clothing items listed on your site versus being a designer directly. But what does that team
Right.
look like? Is there changes that come through on those focus groups, and just kind of what makes up that team that monitors that adaptive line?
No, that also is a great question. And I think, when we started early on, we were a small team of individuals that kind of started out as like, we know this is important because again, it's how do we serve our customer? Today, the way that we look is everything we do within Zappos. So all of the buyers are educated on disability and accessibility. And so when we come across a product, whether it's a brand, again, asking questions like, "Hey, I'm not sure if any of our products would work for people with disabilities." And again, we have so many of those conversations. And the first thing we do is, I meet up with the buyer and the brand, and we kind of look at the assortment, and we'll either send products to people within our community that we know that will give us feedback. Does this work for you? What works? What doesn't? Without having to do a full-on focus group, a lot of times we just have people testing products. And I think that's really lends the credibility out there when we know that somebody within the community is saying this works for me. So we do a lot of that. And then within Zappos, we have a team of people that work on the website and basically take all of the, like if we're launching a new product, we kind of work together on, again, the features. If we're going to show videos, we have a new launch coming up. I wish it was a little bit later because I'd be able to share. I would say the beginning of April, we have a really cool collaboration coming. But what we would do is work with that site merchandising team and to make sure that we are highlighting the launch with video. And the other thing that I have to say is very, very important are the stories behind the product. So it's great when you can see the product and the features, but if you know that that product was developed with a group of people within the disability community, it's the authenticity and sharing that story. So I'll give you an example. When we launched with our Sorel boots back in last year, we launched with our second collection. We worked with some of the people that were part of the focus group and gave feedback. One of the influencers, her name is Chelsea Bear. She's been part of our journey from the very beginning all the way through today. And so we work with her to launch the product so she can talk about her experience. I was part of this focus group and this is what came of it. And here's why this product works for me. And her communicating that on her channel to her audience is extremely important. Again, it lends that authentic side and just the story behind it to make sure that people understand, like, how did we get where did this product come from? We want to make sure that people understand the story behind the products that are developed with disability in mind, because I can't tell you the most important thing that the takeaway is making sure that people with disabilities are involved in the discussion, conversation process from the very beginning all the way through to the very end. It's just the way that we've worked, and it really is important. I say, how can you create something for someone unless you know what they need? And so that is really the core of everything that we do, revolves around that feedback and hearing from the population, customers.
We have another question that came through. They said, excuse me, I love that you have the community give feedback. How do you decide on who gets to test the products?
When people reach out, we're happy to, we have a voice of customer survey that on our website, and we make it very, you can find it. And then you can email Zappos Adaptive at zappos.com and say, hey, I'd love to try some product. And again, we only exist because of a customer who gave feedback. And so that's how we are going to continue really evolving our assortment and learning more about products. So if you're interested, reach out on that email and we'll get back to you. And any future opportunities we have, we'd love to really include more people. That's really what it's about. Thank you for asking that question.
And would you say then that those are the best ways for people to get in contact with you, whether they have questions about a product or have ideas for a product, or, even on the latter, if they have a concern about a product, or this is why this didn't work, or something of that manner?
Yes, and we love all feedback. I don't expect it all to be good because we're still learning and evolving. I would say LinkedIn is the best way. And you can find me under, my name, Dana Zumbo and Zappos. But also you can email that Zappos Adaptive at zappos.com, and that comes directly to me. So I, see everything incoming. And we love, and again, when I put it out there, I really mean that I want to hear from you, because it's only going to help us improve not only the product selection we have, but also improve the shopping experience and how we engage with our customers. So please reach out.
Awesome. We did have a question about sizing. So I know we talked a lot about open, the closures and pools of different items. Are there sizing inclusive options, whether that's just, smaller or larger sizes, but also extenders for certain types of clothing?
Yeah, so I'll speak a little bit more about the footwear on this one. We have definitely addressed the size inclusivity on the footwear side. We are now seeing brands going smaller. Typically, an adult size could start with a 5, which doesn't really cover somebody that might have, smaller feet. So there are some brands are going down to a 3 from a woman's size. And then, of course, Zappos has always been known for our selection in sizes. There are some that go up to a 15. It really depends on the brand. So if you have any specific questions around that, I'd be happy to answer it. Just email me, let me know that. And we are also looking at, plus sizing, of course, and petites. We have, just Zappos in general really has covered petites and plus sizes for our general clothing business. So, and then, on the clothing side, Silverts has been around for a very, very long time. And it is a brand that started, I don't know how many years, I want to say before we were around. And they have really focused on clothing with disability in mind. And so that is a brand that would have a selection of products with magnetic closures, possible Velcro, and other features that you might not find on other products when it comes to clothing, as well as sizes. I think at 1.3x or even larger on some of the specific products.
And I guess kind of piggybacking off of that a little bit, I know you mentioned Zappos in general has obviously shoes, clothing, and accessories. Is there adaptive accessories within the Zappos adaptive platform?
Not, I mean, I would say we probably have a few PICC line covers and so forth that is more on the medical side, but not full on accessories. That really has not, Zappos is known for footwear, and that's really what we focused on because it seemed to be the largest need from all of the feedback. And so we really wanted to, we wanted to hone in on something that we knew was going to make a difference and make a bigger impact in a shorter amount of time. And that was really around footwear. But we're open to looking at different things. And, as we continue to evolve over the next few years, I always say you never know what things are going to look like. And so, ultimately, you're going to be shopping on Zappos and you're going to be able to find what you need because everything just will be integrated. Now, all of the product that you do see on the adaptive shopping experience exists on Zappos as well. We are just curating it to be able to find a little bit easier for right now while we are trying to really spread that awareness around disability inclusion in fashion. But eventually you should be able to just shop and find what you need, ultimately, for all of
End
us.
game. That's wonderful. I just had a question and I lost it.
That's okay.
Let me
happens.
check Facebook. Let me check our Zoom, make sure there's no other ones before something pops into my head. I do want to mention that I did put the Zappos Adaptive website in our Facebook chat as well as the Zoom webinar format so that you guys have that direct link to the website. Let me check here. All right, it looks like we do have a question about what you would consider the most popular item or most popular request of shopping.
Oh, I love these questions. Thank you.
Another loaded question.
No, I would say the most feedback and the most requested feature, I would say there are two. One that really covers the gamut in some of the other products. So I would say widths, because widths would cover somebody that is wearing an AFO, and that AFOs have been the most challenging, I think, for what we've heard is, if because of the design of the braces, and the biggest challenge is they come in all different walks of life, all different sizes, wide toes, thin. So it's, there isn't a one-stop shop for all, but I would say widths, because widths could help in so many different ways. And I can give you a whole list of different ways. Number one, AFOs, somebody that might have diabetes. One of the features of our diabetic footwear is that it has to have extended widths and sizes and a removable insole to give that extra space when feet swell or depending on what your needs are. So I would say that's the most requested thing that we hear from a feature standpoint. What was the second question? Forget. Or the second part of that?
Yeah, just what was the most requested item or the most popular item from your website?
And okay, so that's the feature. I would say the thing that took off the fastest, I would say, is Billy footwear. Please look up Billy footwear and his story, because again, I talked about how important the story is behind the shoe. And Billy launched with Zappos Adaptive. We launched at the same time. So we have a really, really great relationship that we've built over the years. And the product, because of the features of the product, not only the functional part of Billy footwear, but the shoes look so cool. And I think that has been something that we've all learned from. It's like, okay, yes, these features work for me, but I want something that looks really cool. And so what we found over the years with the Billy footwear line is, and we launched with kids first, And then we went into adults, and the adults is expanding now because of the feedback. But what we heard from families and from parents, like, yes, I bought this for my son or daughter who needs the extended width because they're wearing AFOs. But guess what? I bought it for my other son because he loved the style of it. And when you see that, that's like the beauty of inclusivity right there. That story kind of, touches your heart. And really, that's what we're hoping product looks like in the future. It's just product that has really cool features that works for everyone, but has
That everybody
intention.
wants. That's the goal.
Yes, yes. So Billy Fuller has been, and the designs and styles and collaborations he's doing is just, I don't know, take a look. I'm sure you'll be like, wow, like I say, wow. And I see the product all the time because it's just, it's smartest design, um, you know, that really helps multiple, depending on what your needs are, but multiple needs, because it really is hard finding that one, you can't find one thing for all. So this one covers a lot, which it shows in the success that we've had since launching in 2017.
That's wonderful. I'm checking here. It looks like our questions have quieted down. Looks like we've been able to get lots of really great feedback. Let me check our friends on Facebook. Hello, thank you guys for joining us. I did, like I said, put the website into the chat option and our comments on our Facebook. I think that wraps up our webinar for today. So I want to give you a huge thank you, Dana, for joining us all the way from Vegas, correct?
Yes, yes.
So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate not only you joining us today, but all the work that you guys have been doing over at Zappos Adaptive. It's been really amazing to see the growth over the last few years. And I know that we've got a lot of really great lived experience here in Columbus and Delaware County regarding some of your products. So huge shout out to you guys. Thank you for that. For our friends joining us on the webinar, I just want to remind you that we do have our 4th webinar tomorrow, which is Friday the 22nd. We will be having an astrophysicist, Dawn, from the Perkins Observatory to discuss the solar eclipse. So we will have that webinar tomorrow. Please log into that. We will have our registration on our Facebook page. We also have it on our regular website as well. Any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out. And thank you again for joining us. I hope you guys have a great afternoon.
Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate all the questions. And please don't hesitate to reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Kelly. Have a great day.